Welcome to the Sharpe Way show. Yes, it is 7 p.m. on the East Coast, which means you have to look at my insanely handsome mug. That you have to, but I also have cool guests too. Remember, we'll be talking today about videos and such. It's like soup, but it's not. It's meatier. So it's Sharpe Way stew. It's not soup. It's stew. It matters tremendously that if you care about what I'm doing, get out there, like, comment, share. Stop looking into my beautiful brown eyes. Instead, click like, comment, and or share. Get those algorithms going so that we can rock and roll. Everybody can see us and we can all become superstars. That is, of course, the only thing that matters in life is fame. So that's what we're looking for right now. But I am very lucky. Today, I am so lucky. I have with me comedian extraordinaire, the man, the myth himself, Tim Slagle. How are you, sir?
Yeah, doing okay.
Excellent.
We just got our power on here. We actually been a living Amish for the past week.
Is that right? Were you turning any butter?
No, just
so not real Amish.
Throwing away thawed pizzas. That's
Gotcha. Okay, I guess okay. It's almost as good. Almost as good. The Amish are kind of cool, right? If something goes wrong with the Amish, they usually rush over and help. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh, they will out survive us.
Absolutely.
Things that electricity goes out. We get an electromagnetic wave pulse bomb that disables all our electronics. We're gonna be bugging them for our needs.
And the Amish gonna go, what happened? Huh? What? EM what? I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. That's what they'll do. Absolutely. Yes. For more information on Tim, head over to timschlagle.com. Now, the funny thing is, one of the reasons why I wanted you to come on was because of the way you talked about taxes and Halloween.
Yeah, that's my classic. That's my hit.
Absolutely, right? So I want to hear the hits. So I asked you to come on and play the hits. But I'm going to play the hits, and you get to be the cool guy and just talk about the hits when someone else plays your hits now. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Guys, I want you to, this is very funny. He talks about how you should start teaching your kids about taxes.
And we got to teach the next generation about taxes. Folks, if you have kids, teach them. And the best time you can do this is on Halloween.
Oh, yes.
See, because they're going to put in about 8 full hours of power trick-or-treat.
100%.
They're going to be bringing home a nice big bag of what should be take-home candy.
Oh, my God. You call it take-home candy. Nice.
Greet your little tyke at the door. Hey, that's a nice big bag of candy you got there, Tony Stark.
He's Iron Man.
But first,
yeah. Sometimes
Yeah,
he's also been Harry Potter. He's also been Freddy Krueger. He's also been Spider-Man.
Okay.
He's changed his costume many times over the past 30 years.
You're trying to read the audience at that point? Okay, got it. So the audience it's never Tarzan. That audience is too old, right? No? Okay.
Yeah, never been Tarzan.
Now, Steve, just because you made this much, we have to take away this much income tax.
See that?
Then,
We're not done, though.
to ensure you'll have candy in your old age,
Now, I got to ask you, as you do this, this wasn't the first time you did this joke, obviously, right?
No, absolutely not.
Right, of course not.
That kid would be about, if that was a real kid I was taking it from, he'd be in his 40s now. That's how long I've been doing that bit.
So why in the world did you do that? And then how do you get a joke like that lasts so long?
It did evolve. I still remember writing it on stage. I came in and I said, "Oh, this would be a fun concept." Is comparing taxes to Halloween candy.
Sure.
And I just kind of riffed it, and then slowly the other the whole structure of all the other taxes kind of came into being. So first income, and then.
How in the world do you stay like this joke? The joke should be old for you now, right?
It should. I mean, that's the illusion of comedy. It's kind of like, the magician. You don't know that the rabbit was in the hat to begin with. Well, you would assume that it logically had to be, but
Right.
just like the illusion of magic is that a rabbit came out of nowhere. The illusion of comedy is that you've told it for the very first time.
I like it. All right, I want to show a little bit more of it because it goes further. This isn't the end of it. There's more.
Pay the Social Security tax. Quit crying. You're going to see it in 50, 60 years. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll just put that right up here. Won't touch it till then.
Mm-hmm.
I got to level with you, man. Grandpa's going to eat all that.
That part right there is probably the newest addition to the bit. That line right there. It just occurred to me once that Grandpa's going to eat all the candy. It just that it that it's not. It used to just sit up there. But
there is no locks. There is no lockbox, Tim. So it's true.
Yeah, no, it is true. But what I'm saying is, when Al Gore was running, that's what I would do. I would say, I'm going to put it in a lockbox.
Right.
Is how that went. And then, people forgot that he said that as the bit went on. And then it occurred to me, it was, Grandpa's going to eat that. It just that the metaphor was even more perfect that way.
I love that. This gets better, guys. We're not done.
Grandchildren of your own, don't you? Well, last of all, we can't forget that state tax, can we?
Of course.
Ooh, wait a minute. We're in Minnesota, aren't we?
Oh, you did a local bit.
Yeah, that one I always have to ask before the show. Is there what kind of taxes there are in the state?
Okay.
Which somebody always told me was funny because most comics, they come in, okay, where's the town that everybody makes fun of? Where's the hick town that everyone laughs at? Where's the mall? And I would come in and say, do you have a income tax, state income tax? Yeah. How does it compare to the regional states? Because the line won't work if you're working like in a low income tax state right next to a high income tax state. Like
Absolutely.
Indiana, Illinois is higher than Indiana. So, in that case, what I'll do is I'll say, we might have some people from Illinois here.
Geek comedy. I love it.
Yeah. It's real hard in a state like South Dakota that has no state tax?
Florida, no state tax either.
Yeah, but South Dakota, you could be in the middle of South Dakota and you couldn't blame another. Florida, you can always, you can say we have some people here from New York that don't.
Right.
But you can't do that in South Dakota.
That's true. All right, let's keep going.
There's your Snickers bar. Wait. Here, this is funnier. Hold on just a minute. Payday. What, are you going to eat that right now? Hold it just a minute. Sales tax. I think kids are smarter than that. But if you did there, kid, you wouldn't even get dressed up the next year.
Mm-hmm.
Probably going to spend the whole evening on the couch in front of the tube. And when mom puts out that big bowl of candy for the other kids, he's just going to walk over to that bowl, dump it in his bag. Hey, I'm on welfare. Hey, that's all for me. Thank you very much. Good night.
Libertarian comedy. I just thought it was pretty interesting to watch that one.
Yeah, that last line kind of sums it up. That's the part of the libertarian philosophy is on taxes, is that taxation discourages what you want people to do from what you want them to do. It's if you put a tax on working people, won't work.
Yeah, I think also when people start, the more you give, it also slows them down too, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think it slows them down also, absolutely.
Yeah, it puts a floor, but the
funny thing is, there are so many comedians out there who, are liberty leaning. That makes any sense.
Yeah.
But but they don't do well, or they aren't funny. Right now, it's true, right? Or they're funny. They're only funny in front of a libertarian audience, right? If the audience is a libertarian, they bomb, right? But somehow you've been able to stay doing this for a long time without bombing. And I want to bring up something that's not necessarily a libertarian one. It's a different one, but it's your Robot Wars piece. I'm going to bring this one up if I could. This one is a much shorter piece.
Yeah, this one's new. This is it's a new direction I'm going on.
Let's hope it's good.
Self-driving car, just robots or any robot to violate the law, because then you're just asking for trouble. You know, because you'll come home for work and you can't find your husband, and you go, Roomba, did you see my husband? I discovered he was the source of the dirt.
It's the singularity, right? It's when the machines become sentient, right?
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah, it's a direction I'm taking with my comedy now. Is kind of like a Twilight Zone episode. But the libertarian aspect of that bit, that piece has grown since I did that. I think that was the week I wrote it.
Okay.
That was I do a thing in Minneapolis called Crash and Burn. I do it every once a year. It'll be coming up in about a month now, just about a month. And what it is, it's myself and 3 other comics, and we all try to write 20 brand new minutes in the span of a week.
Wow.
And so we start on Tuesday with stuff that's never been done on stage before, and then we coach each other and take notes, and then by Saturday, and that was the Saturday show, we should have a new fleshed out bit. It's so that's, I
love that.
That's what that was. And the libertarian aspect of that piece is that self-driving cars are involved in accidents at 5 times the rate at human-driven cars, because self-driving cars are programmed to obey the law.
Wow, look at that.
And
so obeying the law gets you in trouble.
Exactly.
Sometimes gets you killed.
Exactly. The metaphor there is, if we were all robots that did exactly what we were told, there'd be a lot more death. The fact that we kind of cheat the law is actually a built-in fail-safe.
Wow.
And that's
wow. Yeah. The fact that we cheat the law is a built-in fail-safe. I'm so going to steal that and probably give you no credit, but I might give you a little bit, but probably none. I was going to say, I'm a genius. Look what I just made up. That's awesome. All right, let's finish this one up.
I was programmed to eliminate the dirt. And now I think I need to be empty. You can't program self-driving cars.
When it comes to that one, what I liked about that tremendously is you talk about the idea that if we all follow the law, things go wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, a self-driving car sees the light go to green to yellow, and the algorithm says you must come to a complete stop before you reach the intersection. And then a human-driven car sees the light go from green to yellow, and the algorithm says floor it straight through the self-driving car parked at the intersection.
Yes, absolutely. So then is there an argument to try to stop it then, right? I mean, I guess the issue there is, right, do we then have an argument for, and I'm going to be total devil's advocate here, for the government to step in and stop the self-driving cars because it's more dangerous?
Yeah.
Come on, Tim. It's for the children.
Well, I just think we have to learn how to drive drunk, because that's
learn how to drive drunk. That's where you went. That's your policy.
Well, I think everybody that wants a self-driving car, if they were really honest, that's the luxury they imagine, is that they could stagger out of the bar into the car, push the home button, and take a nap.
I think many people would do that. Have you happened to have watched the HBO series Westworld, their most recent series?
Yeah, I saw all 3 seasons.
So then that in that world that everything's a self-driving car.
Yeah.
They just get in and just those are drivers. They just get in the cars drive.
Yeah. So there's going to be some authority saying, no, you don't need to go there. It's do we really want to sacrifice that autonomy? And I say no.
Well, not just that. Everyone knows exactly where you went.
Well, they kind of already do if you got your phone.
Yes, but this one they've actually literally got like the data showing what taxi you took or whatever, or what car you in, and the video of the taxi that they've got everything now they're sure you murdered that girl. I mean, now they're sure. There's no doubt, right? So I mean, I think that's a hard one. So I don't know. I think the entire idea of us having self-driving cars, I think, is the future no matter what. I think eventually there'll be very few people on the road.
Yeah.
As in drivers. Yeah. I think that's the future. Who knows? Is that 2 years? Is that 200 years? I don't know.
I think myself, I want to make it as long as possible. I mean, I know the destiny of humanity is to be nothing more than the reproductive organs for the robot overlords. I don't.
We will eventually be plugged into the matrix. That's true.
I don't want to make it too easy.
Eventually, we do head into the matrix. That's true. Yes.
I want to make them work for it.
That's good. I love that. I want to show something else. This is a different side of the tax piece, right? You had a tax joke. Do you remember Chris Rock back about 10 years ago?
Yeah.
He did a joke about that, and a lot of this stuff is now coming to play now. He talks about NYPD and insurance, all those things. He was kind of prescient in this, and I want to show you this one. I'd love to have your 2 cents on this one too. This is not your stuff, so if you want to say it sucks, you're okay saying it.
Okay, good. That sucks.
One thing Clinton did I didn't like, raise taxes. Taxes all high and shit. You know what's fucked up about taxes? You don't even pay taxes. They take tax. You get your check, money gone. That ain't a payment, that's a jack.
Now, this is him from 10 years ago talking about this.
Yeah, look at that outfit, huh?
Exactly, yes. He was looking good.
Boy, that was a timeless style, wasn't it?
That'll never go away, and he knew it. But he brings a valid point, right? Taxes go away, right?
That's that's kind of that's kind of a nice twist on the taxation is theft motto that you hear all over. Taxes are a jack.
Yes, yes. They literally just hijack. Give me the money. Absolutely, give me the money. Well, many times I've had this argument, right? That taxation isn't actually theft. That taxation is extortion. And I make that distinction because they don't just take the money. They give you something for it. It's just stuff you don't want and didn't ask for.
Right.
And if you don't pay it, you go to jail. So it's basically like the mob walk up to you and going, Tim, I know you want to buy this car, don't you? If you don't, something bad might happen. It's kind of like that. They give you the bicycle you don't want, and you got to pay car prices for it, but you do get something for it.
Yeah, a nice bank account you have here. It'd be a shame if anything happened to it.
Absolutely, yes. Terrible if something happened. It got frozen or something like that. That'd be horrible, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, that is a good point. It is closer to a jack than a theft.
Yeah, so that's kind of
They don't sneak in. They don't sneak into your employer's office and take it out of your pay envelope. They
yeah, and the guy who comes is dressed nicely, just like a thug. It's like a mafioso guy. He's dressed nicely.
A nice suit. A nice suit that's worth more than you're making.
Absolutely. And he's usually polite about taking your money, right?
And a briefcase, and you don't know what's in the briefcase either. They're gonna come with a suit.
And you don't know what's in the briefcase. Exactly right. It's not a violin case, but it's fine. It'll do. It's good. But I bring up the Chris Rock piece because I think we've been talking about this concept, and it goes across rich and poor, right? But still, I think most comedy, and I want to go to the next piece, which I bring up for every comedian, and that is there's an issue now with cancel culture.
Yeah.
That if you don't have the right mindset, the right ideology, the right thought process, then you don't get to make jokes. Then you don't get to be heard, right? We have to cancel you.
Yeah.
And I think the response to that for so many comedians is now they're putting themselves behind paywalls so they can't be hammered, so they can't be stopped. I don't know. What's your view on this?
Well, that's actually what's happening in the clubs now. Is the clubs are actually taking people's phones and locking them up before the show, because
is that right?
Yeah. Most comics, especially the ones that are known for controversy, like Louis C.K., are it's part of their contract is that the club has to have a system to secure people. Well, at least before the pandemic, I don't know now. The club has to have a way to secure the phones so that people can't tape their sets. And I think the reason is they don't want an incident like what happened with Michael Richards. They want, what
I remember that, right?
Yeah, that what happens on stage goes out into the ether and it's never heard again. That's what comics want.
But your comedy has been, I mean, I look at some of the comedy that you did several years ago. I mean, you can't go on college. You can't do that kind of comedy in unless you're already a heavy hitter. Right. What I always say is when you do zero tolerance policies, period, no matter what, when it's zero tolerance, you can't do it or you're gone. The elite always win. An example I always bring is it's a crazy example, but you'll get what I'm talking about. If you ever work in a company and you got a great and you got a cool a conference room and the employees go in there, they eat lunch at the conference room, they work while they're eating, they go back and forth and do good work in the conference room. And for 3 years, you've had no problems. But then just last week, dumb Tim spills coffee. So he spills the coffee. So what happens? The boss comes up. No one has any food in a conference room anymore. We're going to quell this. We're going to fix this with rules because that always fixes everything. And that'll teach you and that'll show you all. And when that rule comes into play, now the average worker can't go in there and eat lunch anymore. So they're not working as they're sitting in their desk, making their desk messy. They're not, be creative. Work isn't getting done. But guess what? Jane, the top sales rep, she comes in with her coffee. You fire her? No, she's top sales rep. Bobby, who is the boss's son, he shows up. He's got pizza. You fire him? You can't. Boss's son. Doesn't work. So the elite still get to use it. The average don't. This is happening in comedy. Your Bill Burr, your Dave Chappelle, you say whatever you want. You're elite. Nobody cares. You don't get canceled. You're the average guy out there trying to make a buck. You get hammered.
Yeah, Penn Jillette brought that up, is that the reason why he's allowed to express his political opinion is that he was a very successful juggler. So he said, if you want to get your political opinion out there, learn how to juggle first.
That's the answer. I was wondering why it was juggle. Thank you, Penn. I appreciate that. Yes. But I know it ensures that oligarchy wins. It doesn't actually help the people. It helps the oligarchies.
Well, it's not quite that way. It's that, if your opinion is on the right side, it seems right now you're okay. Like Roseanne Barr is a great example. Her show was she was taken off her show for saying something offensive. I think that was actually a funny thing. If I can go off on this, is that
go ahead.
Is that her comments? The reason why her comments were offensive was because she didn't realize that the person she was insulting had African American heritage. If she would have been a white person, as Roseanne assumed, or at least claims, it would have been okay to say she looks like she was in Planet of the Apes. So which is kind of interesting. But they couldn't yank her fast enough.
Yeah.
But here we have Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, all have done blackface, skits. But they're on the right side. Roseanne made the mistake of being a Trump supporter and being on the wrong side.
Right. Absolutely. Well, I think that division has affected everything. But I want to go another level though here, and this is, comedians are trying to make a living, trying to get people to watch their stuff, obviously. So lots of people. I want people to watch my stuff too, and I'm not funny. I can be amusing though, but that's just because I sing and dance. But that's it. No, but I want people to watch my stuff too. But I feel like the only people who really now in today's fractured media actually transcend everything. Right now, I feel like it's only politicians or superstars who do everything. Or a politician crosses over, or a superstar who is an actor, but also a comedian, but also this and also that. Like they just do. It's almost like the only thing that works is being a personality.
Yeah, definitely. And it's I mean, it's actually and I'm talking pre-pandemic. What's going to happen with the clubs post-pandemic is really hard to predict. But pre-pandemic, there was a big move to book YouTube stars, and
yes.
These aren't people that can do a 45-minute comedy set. These are people that have lots of followers on YouTube who will pay money to see them in person. Which is
correct.
A weird kind of well, it's not unusual. It's there's a
no. This is the thing I call the Oprah effect, right? The issue here is that if you ever watch, I mean, Oprah doesn't do her show anymore, obviously, but when Oprah used to do her show, she would go do some live events, right, here or there to support her show or to promote things, whatever her book, whatever her thing is, right? And whenever she went out and met people, always people hugged her. They always hugged her. And the thing to think about is she's never met these people before, right? But they would always hug her. And at one point she was like, I'm going to hug people. And she got that because these people saw her in her living room every day for years at 4 o'clock. The brain feels like it knows them, right? Yeah. It knows them. Right. So now those people feel like Oprah's their best friend. And Oprah's like, and your name is what?
Yeah, you don't understand. No, you don't touch royalty.
But she realizes that if you want to be that person, have those people buy your book and tell their friends to buy their book, and to shun their friends if they don't buy your book, then you hug them. That's what you do, right? I mean, it's how it works. I think it's a common issue that we have now. It's an effect where people see the same person so much they feel like there's a connection, if there isn't. I'm going to go down a little rabbit hole here. Years ago, my daughter was watching a PewDiePie video, speaking about YouTube, right? So she's watching do you know PewDiePie? He's a very famous YouTuber. Very famous.
Name's familiar. It does not, I couldn't tell you who PewDiePie is.
You're about 40 years older than his demographic, maybe 50 years older than his demographic. Yes. His demographic just is maybe thinking about high school right now. That's about it. So, but anyway, but my daughter was younger then, and she was watching one of his videos, and she's watching a video of him watching a video of somebody playing a video game. So she's watching a video of him watching a video of someone playing a video game. And so I saw this and I didn't get it. I had no idea. I said, sweetheart, I got to ask you, why are you watching this? I don't get it, right? Why aren't you either playing the video game or watching someone play the video game? Either one of those, at least I could get, right? You're watching the video game so you could learn how to play it better, or you're going to play the video game. That makes sense, right? Why are you watching someone watch someone play a video game on a video? And she said, well, I feel like him and I are watching it together, like we're at a movie.
Huh.
And I was like, aha. Light went off. I now watch videos with my daughters.
Huh.
I am now into all of them. I know them. I watch them all now. I don't want PewDiePie stealing my daughter.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I mean, that's very Westworld right there.
Yeah. So
you realize, honey, your companion there is just a robot. Yeah, but he seems real.
and the point is, now my daughter's older now, but at that time, if she had met him, she might have felt the same way. Like we're buddies. Yeah. She might have felt that because she'd watched videos with him before. And, guys like him, and there are many like him, but he's talented in that he speaks to the camera like he's talking to you.
Right.
So see, he knows it's me. See that? That's my buddy. So I do think there is definitely some of that Westworld stuff going on. And I do worry that that maybe we're making some serious social errors here, not being ready for it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So I want to go to one more thing. This is from your YouTube page. It's your monologue. And you do jokes that I think would get you in trouble.
Actually, it's kind of funny. When I did that, it was I just took all the material that was working well at the time, and just kind of stacked it together. I just wanted to make one grand slam 5 minutes, for people to see if they wanted to book me, and it hasn't aged well. Just in the I think it was like 5-6 years ago that I taped this, and it now seems really uncomfortable in the woke world.
Do you want me to not play it?
Oh no, go ahead. It's on my website. Anybody can see it.
Okay, so. There we go.
Okay, well, we're in those weeks after New Year's. And I don't know if your family does this. Our favorite game to play at this time of year, we call it New or Two. That's when you see an old guy on a bicycle. You have to decide whether it's a New Year's resolution or third DUI.
DUI jokes?
Yeah, opening joke, huh?
But the funny part about that is, that's a serious problem and people deal with it.
Yeah.
But people don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But that is a serious problem. People get DUIs and can't drive. That's a serious problem that we should probably joke about, right? But
yeah. And also, I mean, truthfully, that's what everybody thinks when they see an old guy on a bicycle.
Yes, absolutely.
That's where everyone's mind goes. Like, oh, somebody got his third.
Yes. But I mean, if you're in that tragedy, I mean, look, the thing I bring up often is I was a Marine for many years. And any veterans out there who are watching, I don't know are you a veteran, Tim?
No, I am not.
If any veterans out there watching know that veterans, particularly when they think combat is coming or they're in combat, joke about the most horrible things. Mm-hmm. And I mean horrible things that civilians would just say, what are you, a monster? And we laugh and joke about it. It's the way that we get around what we're about to do and engage and handle. Yeah. It's how we joke about it, right? I remember once, this isn't that bad. It's bad, but it isn't that bad. So this is very light on the schedule of joking. When I did the Marine Corps in the 80s, most of my senior leadership were Vietnam vets, right? So when we were talking about grenades, right? And this is what Marines discuss grenades. It's a thing, right? We're talking about fragmentation grenades versus gas grenades, which are tear gas grenades. You get both if you go into combat. And we're discussing how do you use them? You use them to throw a tear gas grenade to push, blah, blah. And the master sergeant steps up, Vietnam vet, 3 tours, goes, that's not how you use these grenades. 2 ways to use your grenades. Once you get to ambush, you throw a couple grenades, boom, boom, boom. Did you get them all? Throw a tear gas grenade. You hear coughing? Throw some more grenades. That was the joke. We laughed, and we were talking about blowing people to pieces. I still remember that joke. That joke's 35 years old, and I still remember that joke. Right? I mean, I still remember that joke. It's crazy, but I do remember that joke still. And this is how a guy jokes about doing a horrible deed. I mean, he's talking about killing people, right? That's death. He's killing people, and that's a joke. It's a common thing. And
laughter is a coping mechanism.
Absolutely. So let me go a little bit further if I could. I'll give you some more of your 5 minutes.
Football season is wrapping up. It was actually an interesting football season. This was the first year that they actually had a woman referee in the NFL. Mm-hmm. It was a little bit different. She would just drop the flag, and the players had to figure out what they did.
It's feminist joke, female joke, gender joke. You were hitting all the numbers.
Don't look at me like that. You know what you did. Yes, you do. You were holding. Well, you might not have been holding, but you wanted to. I saw the way you looked at him. If I wasn't here, you'd be holding him right now, wouldn't you?
And the sad part is, again, you're right. People do believe that, feel that. I've seen it happen in my own marriage. So I know that kind of stuff actually happens.
Yeah.
It does. I mean,
yeah, that's one of those jokes that, yes, that absolutely it follows that everybody's been there. Everybody's had a situation like that with their wife, but we're not supposed to talk about it anymore. Is it somehow it feels like an old joke from the 50s that should have been written on a cocktail napkin.
but the issue that I have here about that is we have now decided that because something is an exception, that we can't say what the rule is, right? Many male-female relationships like this have a situation where the woman acts differently than the man.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There are relationships where that's not the case.
Yeah.
But the majority are.
Absolutely.
So as long as you're acknowledging that this is not the only way, why is it a problem? It's like saying, do humans have two arms? You would say yes. Well, not all humans do. So therefore, humans don't have two arms. Right.
So many jokes are based on the stereotype, and
Sure.
And unfortunately, is a lot of the left wants us to deny that any stereotypes exist.
Yes.
Is that in leftist world, every individual is a unique specimen.
Right.
And we have to recognize the uniqueness. We can't, but as human beings, that things are grouped. It's bugs.
Yes.
Bugs. It's how we survive. Bugs with striped bellies, stay away from, because they those are ouch bugs.
Yes, that's right. Yes, yeah, that's a bad bug. We all learned this.
It's maybe some striped-bellied bugs just put on the striped belly just to fool you into thinking that they're an ouch bug, but it doesn't matter. We as humans, that's how we survived. We group commonalities together.
Absolutely. All right. Let me see what else we got here. See if you can hit all the bad buttons.
Yeah, Robertson just said something ridiculous.
Yeah, you did. Religion. You went right there. You went right there. I'm gonna hit every one of them. All right, here we go.
Ridiculous. He's my favorite, man. He said a few months back that yoga is a prayer to Satan. Not in America. It's not a prayer. It's a fitness praise. Something a lot of young women are into. And what's the problem? In proverb, roughly translated, a woman that can put both legs behind her head will never know loneliness nor hunger.
How could you say such a sexist thing? Oh, you're a bad person. What a bad person you are. Yes. But everyone in the audience, the women were going, yeah, he's probably right.
I've thought about that. I've thought about that one a lot. If you look at the joke backwards, that's how you get the offense on it. If you say that the only way that a woman can succeed in the world is she has to be able to learn to put her legs behind her head.
Right. Yes. You just hit it.
And I'm not. Yeah. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you have a unique talent, that men will cherish it.
I like that. If you have a unique talent, men will cherish it. I love that. I'm also stealing that one and giving you no credit. So yes, I've got two I'm taking from you already. This show's great for me. So yes, that's good. I like that one too. See if I can grab one and keep going here.
I think Gandhi wrote that.
It wasn't Gandhi.
It could have been.
It wasn't Gandhi. I'm sure of that one.
It's Gandhi. I mean, if you ever read any of the stuff about what Gandhi was really like,
tell me.
It's he used to prove his strength against impurity by sleeping with with like 2 or 3 naked teenage girls, and
wow.
to prove that he had self-control. And he'd wake up the next morning and go, darn, I foiled again. I must try this another night.
This time it'll work, I'm sure. This time it will. Absolutely. Give me a couple. One more. You know what? Give me more young women, and then it'll work.
That's
what it is.
It's always astounded me that cult leaders, once they start communicating with God, the first thing God says is young girls.
Yes, of course. God cares about that tremendously. Yes, absolutely. 100%. All right, let me grab a little bit more. You got a couple more here. I'm sure you'll hit every bad one possible.
Just discovered that dogs have a 98% success rate of detecting prostate cancer. Yeah, it's interesting, but the veterinarians recommend you trim their nails first.
That was smart.
No, it's not like that.
You lost the crowd on that one.
You
lost the crowd on that one. Like, whoa. But the weird part is, that's the bridge too far. Right? Dog nails in the bunghole. That's too far.
Well, it's also. I mean, this is the Minnesota club. It's a very sophisticated audience, so there's a good chance it was a bridge too close.
Okay, there we go. Okay, got it. That kind of hit home. Okay, I got you. All right.
They've done tests. They're doing it. The dogs are figuring it out by sniffing, which makes sense. Always wondered what they were doing back there.
They're checking each other for
That's
prostate
why they call
cancer.
a dog a man's best friend. You won't get Jimmy to do that. And what's most amazing is this is an animal that can be faked out with a tennis ball. So if your doctor ever gives you some bad news, go like that. If he flinches, you might want a second opinion. They're also doing the study with cats to see if cats have the same ability. They're having a hard time, though, because they've learned that even if cats know you have cancer, they won't tell you.
So you went to the cats don't care joke. Okay.
Yeah.
I got it.
A bridge too close.
There we go. I like the fact that you're still doing that type of comedy. I know it's difficult, but I want to bring up something silly. This is another tax joke. This is a guy, a buddy of mine. I haven't know this guy. And he's doing, they have that paycheck protection program thing.
Yeah.
Right. He did a parody of it from Naughty by Nature's, was it 92, 93 rap OPP? He did PPP. So let me show you this. I think you may enjoy this. I hope the audience will. Particularly if you're around my age and you remember this actual rap song, you'll really love it.
PPP, how can I explain it? I hope you will obtain it. If you listen, I will show you how to claim it. It's a program that they made for a virus called Corona. They give you free money because you gotta stay at home. The first piece for paycheck, you may think you know what that is. The boss gives you moolah shekels, lettuce, scratch, or cabbage. That part is true, but what if you are self-employed? Profit counts as payroll so your biz don't get destroyed. The other piece, protection, has fiscal preservation. You can't pay no taxes if you're in liquidation. They're thinking 2 months, so remember 2.5. So when the curve flattens, we're all gonna thrive. There's one more piece that we gotta talk about. If you don't get with the program, son, you're gonna be without. All the savvy players have friends at the bank to put them first in line when the program starts to crank. Grab your accountant and do your calculation to get the figures right for your loan application. If you use the proceeds for paying your team, your loan will be forgiven and you're gonna scream, "Get down with PPP! Get down with PPP!"
Now, I want to be clear about something. He's an actual accountant.
Oh, wow.
He's an actual accountant.
that explains how he knows all the fine details of it.
Yes, he's an actual accountant. That guy decided that the way for him to move forward is to do that. And he does it. He actually calls himself, I'm not joking, if you guys care, you look him up. He's a great guy. You can he's called the Singing CPA.
Oh, fun.
And he'll actually do like parties and such.
Huh.
And he'll bring his guitar and he'll sing tax songs. It's serious. He will actually, if you thought, can I make jokes about taxes? Ask him. He will totally take care of you. He will totally take care of you. Absolutely. And what I think is the funniest thing about him is he actually does it so he can get clients. Like this isn't his job isn't entertainer. That's not his job.
Huh. That's interesting.
His job is accountant.
Right.
That's how he pays his
Right.
bills.
So he'll do like a party and then he'll do tax songs and someone say, hey, yeah, can you do my taxes?
Yes.
Huh.
Yes. Steve Zellin, by the way, the guy's name. If he has one, he's in New York City. Of course, I live in New York City. So if anybody needs a New York City accountant, please feel free to go to the singing CPA. Yeah, it's literally the singing CPA. So yeah, I'm bringing this up because I want to go to the most important piece I think that we're talking about here. And I hope I'm not being too serious. I try to keep the show light, but also serious every time I do comedians, because I really think we need comedy more than ever now with things like Corona.
Yeah.
I think we need comedy more now than ever when we see the sadness and loneliness that's going to be, we're going to see because of the government response to Corona. I think you're going to see a lot of pain, families breaking up. I think comedy is going to be more important than ever, and that's getting through. And as you said, it's a coping mechanism.
Yeah. Yeah, and quite unfortunately, I hate to go down this conspiracy road. I spent a lot of time at the end of that street at one point, but boy, the fact that they're not only are they trashing the economy, they've essentially ruined the comedy industry. It's almost all the rules that they've set make it impossible to set up a comedy club. It's almost, and it seems almost intentional, but I can't.
It is why I have a comedian on my show every Friday.
Huh.
That's why every Friday I have a comedian on my show every Friday. I crank them out the best I can. I try to get a comedian on every Friday. I can't always get them to agree to my timing and everything. It doesn't always work, but I go out of my way every week to have a comedian on my show.
You're lucky. A lot of us aren't working on Fridays right now.
Yes, that's true. So I get to do that. Absolutely. So I'm taking advantage of it. Absolutely. But I guess the other thing that drives me crazy is now we're saying that it's not the joke is bad or the joke is mean. It's you can't joke about this. And that fundamentally is un-American, is not human, is just wrong, is just bad. There's nothing that you can't joke about. Nothing. No, if you're trying to hurt somebody, then you're an ass, regardless of whether it's a joke or not. And I'm sure there are some comedians who are really jerks and trying to hurt people. And those are bad guys and gals. But assuming you're trying to make people laugh, there's nothing you can't joke about.
Yeah, so somewhat. I mean, it's showing my age. A lot of people don't know who Don Rickles was. I'm afraid.
Andrew literally brought him up.
Pardon?
Don Rickles humor was funny, sarcastic. His direct quote was, "I'll make fun of you. If I make fun of you, it means I like you." Yeah.
Yeah, and the reason why he could get away with it is that there was something when you saw that guy, he looked like he was in pain. It just, it was part of it. It was part of his image. He just looked like a tortured soul. So that when he was calling people awful names and just being a jerk, you still had pathos for him. You still felt sorry for him. You still wanted to say, "Oh, you poor ornery little man."
Yeah, but aren't a lot of comedians? I mean, I feel this at least. Aren't a lot of comedians almost being therapeutic in how they do their show? Aren't they kind of using it as group therapy in a way?
I would hope so. I mean, even to the point where it's just, where a comedian might just be silly.
Sure.
It's still, it's getting the group together to join together in laughter. And it's absolutely, there's something therapeutic about that.
But I also feel that some of the best comedians, particularly those who become actors, I think, many of them, they're really sharing stuff from their own life. They're sharing themselves with the audience, and that's what makes people connect to them, right? I mean, some people can be funny, and that's great, but delivery piece is that, I mean, the people who remember my shows often remember a piece of the show when I told a personal story. They forget the stuff I say. They're like, "Oh, Larry, whatever." But when I say something personal, that's when I meet people, when I do events, that's when I'll meet someone and I go, oh, that story you told me about your mom or your daughter or your so-and-so. I think those connect the most. Am I wrong?
Yeah, those are your Oprah moments.
Yes,
Those
absolutely.
Those are because I mean that was pretty much the Oprah style. If you remember, is that every guest that she would ever have on, she would have a story that somehow, if she had on somebody who was molested as a child, well, I was molested as a child. If she had someone that was raised dirt poor, well, I was raised dirt poor. If she had a NASA scientist that was well, I was in the space program for a while. No, you weren't, Oprah.
Shelley brings up, no one laughed about Hitler. And then there's a response, right? Mel Brooks did. After the fact, it's not. Charlie Chaplin did his movie, which was a parody of Hitler, in 1940, 41, was it something like that?
Yeah, the Dictator. The Dictator,
thank you. Yes, The Dictator.
Mo Howard, I think, did one of the best Hitler impressions ever. It's all he needed was a mustache and a part, and Mo Howard.
That's right. Yes. Guys, I know that's the Three Stooges. We're old. We remember that stuff.
I'm sorry.
For you youngsters, that's the Three Stooges.
The Three Stooges. Yes. The Three Stooges did a Hitler. Yes. It's the most recent. Did you see Jojo Rabbit?
Yes, absolutely. And the guy who plays Hitler is Jewish.
Yeah, and the director of the film, which is kind of interesting too.
Oh, well, Spielberg did Schindler's List, which wasn't a comedy, obviously, but I think you do find that people who've been through tragedy often want to get through that, right? They want to get through that in a way, and they often take charge to get through that. Yes, Bill remembers it was Charlie Chaplin. Absolutely, yes, 100%. So yeah, I mean, I my worry is, and I'm sure you're feeling it. How do we stop, to take a line from The Dark Knight, the Joker? Why so serious? How do we get away from that? Because my biggest worry is to solve the problems that are going to be happening, that we're going to be seeing, that we haven't even figured out are going to happen yet, right? The problems from this global shutdown, this change, this fear, the way we interact. We're not going to be hugging each other as much. Physical connection that people need. All those things, the problems that are going to come from all those things, right? We don't know how we're going to fix them. We're going to need creativity. We're going to need initiative. We're going to need someone thinking outside the box. And if we've got the thought police over our heads, how is that even possible?
Yeah. Or is it even possible? And is that part of the plan?
Oh, tell me. Oh no, go down the conspiracy road. Do it. Go back to the end of the road. Come on. Go to the end of the road. I'm okay.
That's all the further I'm going to delve down that one.
You see, a lot of people say that, and to be forward with you, I almost never believe that a conspiracy was right from start to finish. I just can't believe that humans and governments could actually figure this out. However, there's a big however for me. And that however is, do I think that organizations and governments have plans on the shelf in case something bad happens? Yes, absolutely. Right? I don't think that U.S. government could in any way, shape, or form, my belief, and I could be wrong, and maybe in years we'll find out. I don't think any government could have planned, okay, we'll release COVID on the 15th, and we'll make sure these, I can't buy that. I don't. But I believe that the government was sitting here saying, when the pandemic hits, we've got the plan? That I believe.
Right. Yeah. If you think that a government can plan that accurately, we don't have a chance anyway.
I guess that's true.
So what's the purpose? What's the purpose of knowledge at that point? It's just
Brian brings up Japanese don't hug so much anyway, and they seem fine. But everybody wants to be Japanese. Brian, maybe we become that. But I mean, the Japanese, I lived in Japan for several years. The Japanese don't. That's true. Not that much. But they used to love when people like me would hug them. The reason why they don't hug is not because of COVID. It's their culture. They don't hug much. Not their thing. But when they get to hug like an American or someone who does come from a hug culture, they're like, yeah, oh, we're hugging? Yes. Let's do some hugging. That's what we do. So I got hugged all the time in Japan, up like daily. Oh, I'd put my arms out for a hug. I got hugged all the time. But even if we're going to become that route, to go that route and to become a non-hug society in the course of a year, it took Japan hundreds of years, thousands of years to create that culture. It'll be shocking for us.
Right, and I think I think perhaps that's why the Japanese are so fascinated with American culture. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they just look at it as like we're 330 million teddy bears.
Oh, I like that. We're 330 million teddy bears. I love that. That should be anime. That's going to be anime now. That's the new one. Yes, I love that. 330 million. Yes, instead of 300 to be 330 million. That'd be the name of it. I love it. All teddy bears. So I guess we'll have to have superpowers or something. Is that how anime works? I don't know. My kids like anime. So I got to know.
Yeah, eye lasers or something like that.
I love that. Teddy bears with eye lasers. If you don't hug us every day, we shoot you in the head with lasers. There we go. We've just written the plot for the next cool blockbuster movie. So. Oh, guys, I was like, thank you all for watching. Anything you want to talk about, Tim, before we wrap things up?
Nah, I'm done. It's Friday. It's Friday night. It's Friday night. I have cocktails waiting for me.
There we go. Someone's going to get hammered. Guys, do me a favor. Support the show if you like what I'm doing. Head on over to Facebook. Like me on Facebook. Like me on Twitter. Subscribe to me on YouTube. And, of course, head over to patreon.com/SharpeWay. Throw me a couple bucks. And for more information on timschlagle.com. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Tim, thanks for coming on. I appreciate the time.
Thank you for having me.
All righty. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you all very soon.